Okay, so this is day 2, lower body for the month of April. We are going to start with a mini band circuit for our little activator. So we have 4 moves. Each exercise is 30 seconds or 30 seconds per side. So we're going to start with a mini band around our shins or our ankles. If the client has knee pain, the higher you move the mini band, the less they should feel any knee pain. So the first exercise is alternating step outs for 30 seconds. So just a little soft bend in your knee, step, and you're just going to alternate stepping out to the sides, keeping your upper body as tight and stable as you can using your core. Exercise number 2 is sumo air squats. So we're going to pull the mini band up around our knees, sumo stance, sink, squat, just body weight air squats for 30 seconds. Number 3 is a side lying abduction with one leg. So instead of standing and doing abduction, which also sometimes will work your standing leg, kind of fatiguing it a little bit, we are going to lie down. So we want to stack our elbow under our shoulder, stack our shoulders, stack our hips. Bottom leg is bent, top leg is straight, and they're going to exhale, keeping that top working leg as straight as possible, controlling the movement on the way down. 30 seconds each side. Then we're going to go into a donkey kick. Mini band under the knees so that it doesn't move. Pull your belly button in. Kick straight back, that heel to the ceiling. Flex your foot and make sure the client isn't over flexing their spine. So using the belly button and the glute, or pulling your belly button in and using your glutes should stop that spinal flexion. 30 seconds each leg for that one. So there's only 4 exercises: alternating step outs, sumo air squats, the side lying abduction, and then the donkey kicks. And then after 2 rounds of that, we're going to move on to our low battery. We're going to move on to our first big upper body circuit. So we do need the bench. Our first, this is the circuit where we're going to do one exercise 3 times. They're going to hold for 5 seconds, rep for 10, hold for 5, rep for 10, and then rest for 15 3 times before moving on to the next exercise. So the first one is our goblet squat. Really make sure you have your client tuck and hold that rope. We don't want the weight out here. We don't want them curling their spine or letting their shoulder blades go forward. Tuck their pelvis, squeeze their glutes, and pull their belly button in so that we don't have any back issues this month. Sink, hold for 5, rep for 10, hold for 5, rep for 10, and then rest for 15, 3 times in a row. Now we're gonna go to our second exercise. So I'll give you a couple options. The actual exercise is an RFE split squat loaded with the rope. So what that's gonna look like, they're gonna do 3 times on one leg, 3 times on the other. So tuck your rope, foot back. You're gonna stand pretty close to the rig so the weight's moving straight up and down. Sink and hold, weight in front foot. Rep, hold for 5, and rep for 10. Rest for 15. Same thing 2 more times on that leg, and then they'll switch and they'll do the series 3 times on the other leg. Now, if that is too much with the foot up and loaded, the 2 options are to deload it and just keep the rear foot elevated, or if they want to load it but want to do the split squat, hold, and rep on the floor, they can do that as well. Any of those 3 options work, but the exercise is a goblet loaded RFE split squat with the hold and the rep. So once they've done that 3 times on the right, 3 times on the left, we are going to go into the third exercise, which is a lower body elevated glute bridge or hip thrust. So we're gonna put our heels on the bench, up and hold a glute bridge for 5, hip thrust for 10, hold the glute bridge for 5, and hip thrust for 10. Then they're gonna rest for 15, and they're gonna do that exercise 3 times in a row. So that's the first upper body circuit, or lower body circuit. And then from there, we're gonna move on to actually upper body. So we have 3 exercises. We're gonna do this as a challenge, as a circuit, 30 seconds each. I moved the bench out of the way, but we do need it. Exercise number 1 is a push-up to a side plank. So ultimately, they're just going to do a normal push-up, rotate to a side plank, push up, and rotate to the side plank. And they're gonna alternate their side plank rotation in between a push-up. 30 seconds there. We will already have the bench. They will move it from the lower body circuit here. Exercise number 2 is a seated low cable row. So they're gonna use R2 and L2, sit on the bench, put their feet on the footrest. Normal, knuckles up to thumbs up row, 30 seconds. And exercise number 3, there's a place under the bench. I'll take a picture and send it to you guys, where we're gonna put the band. Band's gonna go behind us, and we're gonna shoulder press. So this actually was a really good exercise, bearing you have no shoulder pain. I wasn't sure how it was gonna work, but when Jordan and I did the workout today, it worked really well, and it was really good. So 3 exercises for your upper body circuit, 30 seconds each. As a circuit, plank or push up to side plank, seated low cable row, and then seated shoulder press with the band. And you're gonna do 2 rounds of that. We do have a challenge. I'm gonna say yellow mini band or green mini band. It's just one exercise. It's just going to work the arms a little bit. So it's gonna be a 5-second hold with a 10-second pulse. 5-second hold, 10-second pulse, rest for 15. They're gonna do that exercise 3 times. I had a second exercise in, but we didn't love it. It didn't do a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot of difference in your arms between the pulse and the pull down that I had. And also, this is a really long workout, so just taking that exercise out worked fine. So the challenge is just one exercise, 5-second hold, 10-second pulse, 5-second hold, 10-second pulse with a 15-second rest, and they're gonna do that series 3 times. And then we are going to go into our second lower body. We do need the bench, but it doesn't need to stay there because it'll be in the way, so we'll put it right there. Exercise 1 through 4, it's done as a circuit, 2 times through the circuit, 30 seconds each exercise or each side. So we need the black handle on L1, and the hip belt needs to be on R1. So we have a new workout, or a new exercise here, thanks to Asher. It was really good. Jordan and I really liked it a lot today. Hip belt is gonna be on R1 all the way at the bottom. Exercise 1 is our low cable SLDL, same arm, same leg, hinge, really exaggerate that chest and face going to the floor, legs straight out, stand, squeeze your glutes as you snap your hip. Stand and snap. If they need to return their foot to the floor in between each rep, that's fine. Tight core, keep your shoulders back and down for a nice flat back. And make sure the clients are not externally rotating their hip. When they hinge, really try and have them focus on internally rotating that toe or keeping it nice and straight to the floor. 30 seconds each leg on that. Exercise number 2, so this is a new one. This is a hip belt reverse lunge. So we're actually just going to put the hip belt. The cable is probably gonna be somewhere up around 3 to 5, depending on the height of the person. And the belt is gonna be around the calf of the front leg. So the front leg doesn't move, but the resistance and the weight really changes the dynamic of the working of this front standing leg. It really digs the work into the hamstring and the calf as well. So this one was really cool. So the front leg stays stationary, reverse lunge for 30 seconds, and then you're gonna put the other leg in the hip belt and reverse reverse lunge with the other leg for 30 seconds. I'm gonna recommend a weight somewhere probably between 1 and 4 for ladies, somewhere probably between 3 and 6 for guys. But again, it's all about the resistance on that front leg. While the back is the working leg, the front leg does have to hold that weight and maintain that form, knee over ankle, so that weight really adds an extra dynamic to it. Number 3, alternating step-ups. It's been a month since we've done them, so why not bring them back? So we're gonna step up. Round 1, we'll use one leg to lead up and down, and the second time through, we'll use the other leg to lead up and down. And then the 4th exercise, lateral squats. Like I said, day 1, we have lateral lunges, so if the client can do the lateral lunges, they're alternating. Today, we're gonna do lateral squats, and we're gonna go 30 seconds on one side, and we're gonna switch and go 30 seconds on the other. So it's a little bit different, and you're gonna do 2 rounds of that. So you have your SLDL, 30 seconds each leg. You have the hip belt around your calf, 30 seconds each leg for that reverse lunge. 30 seconds of the bench step up, and then 30 seconds each leg of the lateral lunge. And then we do have an S-drive or a lower body challenge. So we are gonna take it back to the S-drive push and pull. Originally, I did not have that put into the workout. I had the TRX hamstring curl. So we were gonna hold a glute bridge and then curl, but when Jordan and I did that today, it was really hard. We didn't get through all 3 rounds, and it didn't feel the best on our back, our knees, the back of our knees, so we thought we would just take that out. So I changed it to the S-drive push-pull, but there's also gonna be a holding component to it, and the hold is a little bit different than what we're used to. This also requires a lot of core activation. I cannot stress enough. I say it in my sleep. My clients probably think I'm crazy, but I'm constantly reminding them to activate their core, pull their belly button in, tuck their pelvis, keep their back flat, all the above. So for this push-pull, we'll have the right lever all the way towards the wall, the left lever back towards them. So, the hold, we're gonna have our legs extended. This is gonna work your hamstrings more than the normal glute bridge. So hold the bridge with your legs extended. Pull and push for 10. We're gonna go back out and we're gonna hold for those 5. And then we're gonna push and pull for 10. They get to rest for 15. And then they're going to do that again 2 more times for a total of 3. So legs extended, glute bridge hold, push pull for 10, legs extended, hold for 5, push pull for 10, with a 15-second rest, and they're gonna do that 3 times. And then the second part of the challenge is either a heavy sled push or a sled sprint. They're going to go 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off 3 times. The exercise is a sprint. If they want to do a heavy sled push, that's totally fine. Give them one or the other options. If they don't want their heart rate up, they don't want to do that sprint cardio, both handles all the way against the wall, go underneath the strap and do a heavy, heavy sled push. So yeah, the push, pull, and hold 3 times through, sled sprint or sled push 3 times through. Remember the timing cadence is different on those. The first exercise with the push pull is 5 hold 10 rep, 5 hold 10 rep 3 times. And the sled sprint or the sled push is 20 on, 10 off 3 times. And then we are going to move on to our core. So we have one exercise. I don't think that we've done this before. So we want the cable with the black handle all the way at the bottom. This first exercise is 15 seconds per side. 30 seconds was extremely hard. But what we're gonna do is you wanna be farther enough out from the cable that you can extend your arm under your body. So it's essentially a pull through. So you're gonna hold a palm plank, grab the cable with one hand, and pull it through. All right? This is to work the core. You don't need to worry about keeping your arms straight. You don't need to pull the cable all the way to your shoulder. This is essentially mimicking when you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell and you pull it underneath your body. So 15 seconds on one side, go to the other side, 15 seconds here. If the client needs to drop to their knees in quadruped, that's totally fine. We want their hips and their shoulders square to the floor. No sagging back. If their back or hips sag, have them drop their knees. Exercise number 2, we're familiar with both of these, but they go well with the workout. Grab onto the outside here of the seat, flat to in. So we're doing the shootout, pull your belly button in. This can be done on the floor if the client's not comfortable doing it on the bench. And the last one, we stay upright, we don't move that upper body, and you tap your toes to the floor if they can reach. If not, just go up and down, tuck your belly button in, and that should really burn out your lower core. So we have 15 seconds of the pull through each side, 30 seconds shootout, 30 seconds toe taps, 2 times through, and that finishes lower body day.